So I'm upgrading the rear differential in my Corolla. Here we have the factory open diff, as you can see. This is my Tomei Trax 1.5 way. You can see clutch packs inside of there. Time for a sweet upgrade. Do all the mad skids.
Hello and good morning. My name is John Halkowski. Thank you for joining me today. Today I'm going to be installing a limited slip differential in my Ae86. So the first things that you're going to want to do is jack up your car and put on some nice jack stands, because we need to drain the differential oil and pull the axles. So first things first, we're going to drain the differential. First thing you want to do, remove the fill port and then the drain plug, because if you do this first and you can't get that off, then you're kind of screwed. Both of these are 24mm on the stock Corolla rear differential. Oh, wrong way. There we go. We'll take that off. Thankfully it's mostly empty. Then let's pull off that one. It's gonna be gross because gear oil is always gross.
Whoops.
Can you stop that? Yummy gear oil. Which, I mean, not too terrible because this stuff's mostly fresh because I didn't drive this car all that often and haven't really been abusing it. So it's definitely not terrible, but it still doesn't smell good. While we sit and let this thing drain, let's pull off an axle. So while we let that differential drain, we're gonna get ready to pull this axle. First thing we need to do is pull off this rear caliper. The caliper itself is held on by two 14mm bolts, and this part of the caliper is actually held on by a single 12. So we'll pull that, and then pull those to get this off, so we can pull the rotor off. And then behind here, there are 4 nuts holding on the axle, and those are 14mm as well. So I'm pulling the calipers off the Corolla, and literally no pad left. Some pad, but uneven. This was the side that was on the piston side. Now, slide hammers are pretty useful. All you gotta do is line up your notches with your studs. I'm gonna go with those two. Use your lug nut of choice. Hold them on. Just gonna use the ones that I got. And this threads in. Get a good couple thwacks, and it comes right out. Now we can pull our axle free. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Yummy Corolla axle. Could be better, could be worse. I'll take what I can get. We're going to set that there for now.
Something that's always probably smart to do as well is to test out, make sure that your new limited slip fits your axle, which I don't mind showing you. I am installing a Tomei trax 1.5 way. Not really building the car to be a drift car, but I wanted to have a limited slip, at least better driving performance. So this is my Tomei, a little 1.5 way. And all you have to do is just test it on the splines. Boom. Confirmed, it works. Now we can put that back. Now the axles are pulled out, we need to pull the third member. All right, and welcome under the car. Next thing we need to do is disconnect our drive shaft, which are held on by 12mm bolts and nuts. Ow. Make sure to put the car in neutral so that way it makes it easier to turn the differential, get to some of the harder to reach nuts. Aha! Suck a dick! Suck a dick, suck a motherfucking dick, suck a dick, suck a dick, suck a motherfucking dick. Finally got it. Well, I gotta replace that nut, so add that to the list of things to fix. But I didn't have to get out any saw or cutting device. So, at least I'm not going to call it a win, but it could have been worse. Punk. Put that out of the way. Now that that's done, take off this one. Rotate it. Take off this one. Bark, bark, bark. Bark, bark, bark. Bark. Bark, bark, bark. Bark, bark, bark. Take out this last one. Okay. Bring out the pry bar. Hey, look at that. Now it's out of our way. So now all that's left is 10 12mm nuts holding the third member onto the housing. So let's pull those off and pull that third out. All right. All right, so the third member is finally out. And as you can see, this is an open differential. It doesn't have the clutch packs. It doesn't have nothing. It just has open spider gears. And for anyone who's wondering what that means, is that when the two turning circles of your outside and your inside wheel have to turn at different rates, it allows these gears to spin in opposite directions to basically allow the inside one to free float while the other one on the outside sends the power and helps propel you forward. But with a limited slip, it adds a whole bunch of clutch packs in between, so that way when the inside wheel starts to slip, it applies pressure to the friction discs and actually allows for more even power distribution from left to right. Really great for performance applications. And so now with it being out, it's time to take it to the shop to get it swapped out for the limited slip. And we will be back once that's done.
3 weeks later.
So finally, after getting the LSD back installed into the third member from the shop I took it to, it's finally time to install it. Mostly just a reverse process of what it was to take it out. And then we're going to fill it up with some fluid, do a quick break-in, change out the fluid, put in the provided Tomei gear oil that came with it, and then we should be ready to have some fun in the car again. So I ran into a bit of a problem. I can't get the Corolla's calipers to compress, so more than likely I need to get them rebuilt. And while I'm at it, I have to get a new axle shim because that came off on one of the sides, so I have to get a new one of those. But at least today I got the third member in and I got one axle in, so good enough for now, I guess. Let's switch this around. So as you can see, I got one of the axles in. It's all tightened up. I was trying to use leverage by having this mounted to see if I can compress this caliper, but I can't. I tried on the other side, and I started to get it to work, but the tool that I'm using keeps slipping, so it's just bad times all around. I'm going to see if I can jury rig a tool to help compress this. If not, then I'm gonna have to get the calipers rebuilt or something along those lines. I don't know yet, but I will be back at it very soon.
So it turns out I got really lucky. I actually found someone selling some remanufactured calipers. Take a look at those. New gasket. Hardware. So now I can finally get this back end of the Corolla put back together, put some fluids in it, break in the differential, and then we can go have some fun.
Well, I hit my next inevitable roadblock. I can't get the brake line out of the caliper to take off the old caliper to put on the new caliper. So now, the only real option here is to just replace the line entirely, because it's more than likely just going to get fucked up and I'm going to have to replace it regardless. So that means I just need to replace the line now, fucking save myself time and money and effort and bullshit. So, I guess I will stop here for today. Get some brake lines coming. Probably just go with some steel braided because I know I can get a deal on those. And get them for the front too, and then do those next time I do the front brakes. So, Until next time. So quick update, I actually got the brake line off. Fortunately, I had a friend who had a 17 millimeter that was the right length, so I could actually get some good leverage on it and actually get it to break loose. What's really dumb about the Corolla is to change it out, you actually have to remove both sides of the line from the hard line and from the caliper to get it off to change out the caliper itself. So fortunately, I actually managed to get the caliper on. See, that takes a 17 millimeter. You need a 17 and a 10 to take that off. So that's all together. Now to actually piece this back together and set it back up. And then for tonight, I will be done with this side, and then I will finish up the other side tomorrow. And then we can put the car back on the ground. Well, the Corolla is finally back on the ground. I got the differential filled with some fluid, and now I need to go take it out and break in the differential, which is mostly just doing figure eights for like 30-ish minutes. So time to go find some flat ground and do some figure eights until it's broken in. We're gonna come back, change the fluid, and then it'll be ready to go.
Do ba 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 do boo do a boo ba do boo boo ba do a do ba do ba do a do ba do ba do do a do ba do ba do a do ba do ba do ba.
Well, that's it. The differential is broken in. All that's left is to change the fluid to some fresh stuff, and then it's good to go. Time to have some fun. I want to thank you so very much for joining me on this adventure, and I will see you in the next one.